Introducing the most definitive step-by-step guide on how to build a strategy in Strategy Builder on NinjaTrader 8, how to backtest it using Strategy Analyzer and Market Replay. This video is going to give you a complete walkthrough every step of the way. It includes a completely free strategy that I will show you how to set up from start to finish. So stay tuned for the entire video. There's going to be an incredible amount and wealth of knowledge shared in this video. So if you're interested in learning how to create and backtest your own strategies, you are about to learn everything you need to know to make those dreams come true. And if you end up enjoying this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. So let's get right into it. And I will only be using the free built-in indicators included with NinjaTrader 8. So I'm going to build a strategy using the MACD, the stochastics, and the MFI. But you will be able to create a bunch of different strategies using the information that I'm about to provide in this video. So first things first, you go into your NinjaTrader control panel, click on New Strategy Builder. I'm going to create my new strategy name, MACD Stochastic MFI. You can put in a description if you would like. Click Next. I'm going to leave this to calculate on bar close and click Next. Additional data. I'm not going to put anything in that category, so click Next once again. The inputs and variables. This should be blank, but I copied an old strategy base, so I already have a few things loaded. So we're going to want to set up a stop, a target, and also a lot size. So we click on this add button. You can name it whatever you like. But this is going to be our take profit. Leave the minimum at 1. For the default, you can put whatever you like, whatever kind of target you're most likely to go for. 10 ticks, 20 ticks, 30 ticks, whatever you like. Then you're going to add another one. This is for your stop loss. You do the same thing, whatever you want to call it. Change the default to whatever your stop loss is most likely to be. 10, 20, 30, etc. And then create another one for lot size. I left mine at the default of 1. And then we're going to add a few more custom inputs. This one is going to be a stochastic high. Going to have a default of 80. Add one more. Stochastic low. Default of 20. Click OK. And one more. This one is going to be the MFI period. Default is going to be 14. So let's go to the next section here. Click Next. Here are the conditions and actions. And again, yours will be blank. This is a copied template from an old strategy that I loaded. I've got my strategy to only trade between 9:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m., the first hour of the New York Open. You can set yours up to trade whatever time frame that you like. So what you want to do is you want to go to Add. You're going to add a new condition. Then you want to go into your time file, choose time series. For this condition, we want to select greater or equal to. For this section, you also go into your time folder, choose time value. Now we can select the start time. You can choose whatever time that you like. I've got mine set up for 9:30, so greater to or equal than 9:30 a.m. Then you want to add one more condition. Same thing, time series, time value, except now we want to choose less. The time has to be less than 10:30 or whatever time that you would like to select. So this strategy is only running from 9:30 to 10:30. So now let's get into adding the actual strategy. I'm going to be using a basic MACD cross strategy with a couple of filters from the stochastic and the MFI. So click on the add button to add a new condition. We're going to go into our indicator file, find the MACD, and on the other panel, go into your indicator file, click on the MACD. So scroll down till you see the plots. We want to know when the MACD crosses above So click the crosses above, and you can leave this as the average. The MACD crosses above the average. For instance, right here, this blue line, this is the MACD. This red line is the average. So here's the MACD crossing above the average right there. That is our first condition. I'm going to add another condition. Go into your indicator file, choose MACD once again, scroll down to the plots, select the MACD. So for this condition, we want the MACD to be less than 0. I want the MACD to be below the center 0 line. So we go into our miscellaneous folder here, choose numeric value. There we are, it's already set at 0. So the MACD must be less than 0. Now let's add a couple of filters. Click on Add, go into your indicator file, find the stochastics, scroll down to the plots. I like using plot K. So we're going to choose plot K, and this is for the long condition. So we want the K plot to be less than 20. I want the stochastic to be under the 20 line, less than 20. So we go into our miscellaneous folder there, choose numeric value. Now instead of typing in a 20, put your mouse in this parameter box, click on Set, go into your user input folder. You'll see all of our custom input variables that we created. We want to choose stochastic low. Click OK. See how it shows up in the window there? So the default will be 20, which we already set. And then when we do our back testing, we can test out some other highs and lows of the stochastic to see what might be the best for our strategy. Click OK. Now let's add the MFI filter. Go into your indicator folder, find the MFI. By the way, I have no idea if this strategy will work. I was just on a hike earlier and I thought I should do a beginner intro video, and I came up with this random strategy. So we will be back testing it for the first time as I am recording this video. On the other panel, go into your indicator folder and also find the MFI. Scroll down to the period. So for the period, we're going to set this as our user input, the MFI period that we created earlier. You're going to do that on both of these. Go into your period in the parameters, put your mouse in the parameter box, click Set, go into your user input folder, select MFI period. So we've got that on both of those. Scroll back up to the top here. So I want to measure the slope of the MFI. So this is the current bar, 0 bars ago. I want the current bar to be greater than 1 bar ago. So you go into your bars ago parameter box here on this panel, put in a 1. That means that the MFI right here is greater than the MFI of 1 candle ago. So the slope is going up. Click OK. So those are all the conditions that we want for a long. So what we have to do next, we have to go into this lower panel. We're going to have to add another condition. Go into your order management folder, click on Enter Long Position. In the quantity, click on Set, go into your user input folder, and choose the lot size parameter that we created earlier. And then if you would like it to draw an object, we can add another parameter. Go into the drawing folder. Let's just choose vertical line. Choose the color you want for the long. Click OK. And now we have the long section complete. This is set 1. What you will want to do next is click on this plus button down here and add another set. Here's set 2. This is for our shorts. So what we can do, go back to set 1, right click on all of these, click copy, go over to set 2, right click, click paste. Do that for all of these different conditions. So for the times, we do not need to change anything. For the other 4 conditions, we've got to change a few things. Click on our first MACD condition here. Click Edit. So instead of a cross above, change this to a cross below. This is for the shorts. Click OK. Next condition, click Edit. We want the MACD to be greater than 0 for the shorts. Click OK. For the stochastics, click Edit. We want the stochastics to be greater than a numeric value of the stochastic high. So go into your set function there. Change the user input to stochastic high that we created earlier, which is a default of 80. Click OK. Click on the last condition. Click Edit. Now we want the MFI, the current bar, to be less than the MFI of 1 bar ago for the shorts. So now we go into the lower panel, click Add, go into your order management, click on Enter Short Position. For the quantity, set it to the user input that we created for the lot size. Go to Add once more, go into your drawing folder. I'm going to choose a vertical line. I'm going to change the color to red. OK. And now we're done with the conditions. We have set 1 for the longs and set 2 for the shorts. So click Next. This is the final category where we got to set up our stops and our targets. So go down here to Add, choose the profit target. I've got the mode in ticks. For the value, put your cursor in this parameter box, click Set, choose the user input of target that we created earlier. Click Add once more, choose Stop Loss. I've got it in ticks once again. For the value, choose the user input of stop that we created earlier. And that's it. Click Next, and then click Finish. So now we get to find out if this strategy has any kind of chance of being profitable. So go back into your NinjaTrader control panel, click New, go to Strategy Analyzer. So here is our Strategy Analyzer window where we are going to find out if this strategy might be any good. For the backtest type, go into Optimization. Then under the strategy, find the strategy that you just created. It's the max stochastic MFI. And then we're going to check out some different parameters and see what might be our best stop loss, our best take profit. I'm not going to mess around with the lot size. Obviously, you can just multiply that by however many lots you plan to trade. So I'm going to leave that on 1. But everything else, I'm going to test out and see what might be best. So for the target, I'm going to go for 20 to 80 ticks. I'm going to go in increments of 2. The higher the increment, the faster you will get your results. So you could put a 5 in there if you wanted, or a 10. If you chose a 10, then it would test for targets of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. For the stop, I'm going to do 20 minimum and 80 maximum. For the stochastic high, I'm going to do a minimum of 50 and a max of 90. I'm going to do that in increments of 5. For the stochastic low, I'm going to do a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 50. Also in increments of 5. For the MFI period, I'm going to do a minimum of 3 and maximum of 20 in increments of 1. For the data series, you can test out whatever instrument you would like to. I'm going to do the NQ. I'm going to test out the 1 minute chart. And I'm just going to test out the month of February. 203 to, what's today, 226. And my personal preference is just to test a few weeks, maybe a couple months tops. I actually don't hold any weight to any of this backtesting with Strategy Analyzer. I like to do all my backtesting manually on the charts. I like to use playback data and test things out on playback data. And then I like to do the forward testing in the actual live markets. I don't actually do any auto trading. I don't use any of the strategies that I create. I played around with creating auto trading strategy for years and years, and I found it to be pretty much a complete waste of time. So that's not actually true. I think there's some value in it, and of course everyone is different. You might fully enjoy this style of trading. I've got trust issues with robots. I like to use my own brain, make my own decisions. I would never let a computer make all my decisions for me. But I've got all this experience making the strategies, so I figured I would share the information in case anyone else was interested and wanted to try something out themselves. The only way to find out if it's something you might be interested in is to try it out yourself. Do your own backtesting, get your own personal experience, make your own decisions. What I have found useful, especially with just testing the last few weeks or last month, kind of get a gauge for what's going on in the current markets, what kind of settings for the indicators I might want to be using, what kind of stops and take profits might be the best. But when it comes down to it, past performance is absolutely no guarantee of any kind of future results. There's absolutely no substitute for personal experience and time in the markets. There's no magic indicator. There's no magic strategy. There's only the internal process that we all must go through. So that being said, let's get back to wasting some time, having some fun playing around with numbers. So I've got my testing time frame set up here. I'm going to include commission. Keep scrolling down. So for the slippage, I'm going to put a 1 in there. This will help give slightly more accurate results. Although I really do not trust any of the strategy analyzer results. This is step 1. Step 2 would be to apply the strategy to a chart, load up some playback data, run the playback data with the strategy on the chart, run it for a couple weeks of playback data and see if it matches up at all with your strategy analyzer results. Then step 3 would be to potentially use it in the real markets. At least that's how I'd be going about it. None of this is financial advice, just sharing some information that I've learned along the way in my trading journey. On to the optimize section. I like optimizing for max net profit. Click that. For the optimizer, we're going to go into genetic mode. This is going to do fewer iterations, but it will be much quicker. So I like to use a generation size of 50, and for the generations 10. And that's it. Now for the moment of truth. Click run. Here it's going through a select amount of iterations, testing 500 different possibilities of combinations of settings for all the different indicators and conditions that we set up. Blam! $1,700.98 after commissions for the month of February, trading one standard NQ contract. 100% profitable. That's pretty dang good, actually. A lot of the strategies I have created have not come out this well. But I had that divine inspiration during my hike. I saw the 3 things that I should test out. Here they are. Don't try this at home. And I am not a professional. But here is our top 6 results. If you click on any one of these, it will give you the stats. It will give you the loss, the max drawdown, the percent profitable. Then over here in parentheses, you will see all of the settings that you use to get those results. Let's just go up to this 100%, see what this is all about. I mean, that's actually pretty phenomenal for almost an entire month on the 1-minute chart. And this is only trading for 1 hour a day from 9:30 to 10:30, like we set up. So first thing I'm noticing, this risk to reward ratio is pretty terrible. Target of 22 with a stop of 73. So right there, I'm looking for something more realistic. And like I said, I'm not auto trading any of this stuff. Not my style. But if I've got this set up on my chart and I'm looking at it in the live markets along with every other thing that I'm looking for, and put it all into context and find some additional confluences, then I might want to take the trade manually, myself, my own brain. And I'd probably want to run this optimization test, once a week. Keep getting updated information, keep up with the current times, keep thinking about where I want my stops and targets. Most of the time, I'm usually looking for key levels and other things like that for my stops and targets. And I'm taking into consideration the current volatility of the day. But sometimes all this backtesting can be fun. It can give you new ideas. I enjoy it. So I'm going to look for something with a better risk to reward ratio here. So this next one that had a 70% win rate only took 10 trades the whole month. A target of 62 with a stop of only 24. So that's much better. That's almost a 1 to 3. So I might be more interested in these settings. So the stochastic high was 50. The stochastic low was 15. Ideally, I would like to find something that has an equal relationship between longs and shorts. So I'd want a 50 and a 50, or a 15 and an 85. I'd want to keep that even keel. For the MFI period, it was a period of 10 that worked out best. So what I would do on my chart, I go into my indicator settings for the MFI, I change it to a 10, and then I go into my stochastic settings, and I change the high and low stochastic parameters to match up with the parameters from my analyzer results. Strategy analyzer. And then when I'm trading, I kind of keep my stops and targets in mind and maybe use them in conjunction with the key levels and the price action volatility of that particular day. So then if I want to test out a different time frame, I can test out tick charts, range charts. Definitely do not check out any kind of Renko charts. They are not back testable. Supposedly the King Renko from NINZA is back testable. I haven't really tried it out. I usually stick with minute, tick, or range when I'm doing my back testing, but really I only trade on time-based charts most of the time, so I'm only interested in, say, the 1 minute or the 2 minute or the 5 minute. Let's test it out on the 5 minute. So we shouldn't really have to change anything. All we gotta do is click run after we change the time frame. The higher time frames, you will get results a little bit quicker too. The lower the time frame, longer the results will take. The 5 minute, we had several settings that yielded 100% profit, and they all only took 3 trades the entire month for a total of $1,000 after commissions, trading one single NQ contract. So if you trade 5 NQ contracts, there's $5 grand for the month off of 3 trades. And we've got pretty much a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio here. Target of 68, stop of 67. I still would like to see the high and low be in equal proportions, so 50 and 50 or 25 and 75. So what I'd probably do is I'd write down all of these settings, and then I'd go into the backtest mode, and I would input 68 for the target, 67 for the stop, and then I'd put 50 for the stochastic high and 50 for the stochastic low. I'd put in 17 for the MFI, and then I would run that. And then I would also run those same numbers, except I would change the stochastic low to 25 and the stochastic high to 75, run that, see what kind of results I got. Because this makes it biased towards one direction, and I don't really want to have a bias long or short with a strategy like this. So again, some pretty dang good results. So let's close this out. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go into playback. I'm going to load up some data. Ideally, I would load up the entire time that I did the strategy analyzer backtesting on, and I would run it from 9:30 to 10:30 every single day, and then tally up the results to see if they were anything similar as the strategy analyzer results. I also just realized that I forgot to show you something very important in the strategy analyzer, so we'll go back to that in a second. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss out on any of this vital information. All right, so we've got the playback data loaded. Right click on the chart, go to strategies, Find the strategy that you just created. Here's the MACD stochastic MFI. Click add. So now in the parameters, type in all the parameters that you got from your strategy analyzer results. You can choose the lot size you want to trade. If you want to trade 3 lots at a time, make sure all these match up to your best strategy analyzer results. Make sure you have your playback account set up there. And then go to the enabled checkbox, click that on, and click OK. So now when 9:30 a.m. comes along, this thing will start firing off trades. You can monitor everything in the strategies tab and just let it run in playback mode and see what happens. I usually bump up the speed a little bit, not too fast because I don't want it to miss anything. I trust the results a little bit more if it's only 20 or 30 times speed, maybe not the max speed. All right, so let's go back to the strategy analyzer. Let me show you one more thing that's kind of important. So I'm running the optimization again on the strategy. You know, I've got this set from 9:30 to 10:30. There's plenty of days when there is some news where, you know, I'm not going to be trading at 10 a.m. or 9:45 when certain news events come out. So none of this backtesting takes that into account. There's just a lot of different things you got to take into account. So I take all of this backtesting with a large pile of salt. So here we go. We got even better results. We got 100% profitable strategy for the entire month of February, taking 14 trades. So let's go to one of these that had some more losers. So besides looking at all these stats, if you go into the display, go into analysis, this is an important part. Ideally, you want to see a slow, steady rise from start to finish. You don't want any crazy up and down movements all over the place where it goes way up, comes way down, and then goes back up again. You want a smooth, steady line. This is not the best slope. This is also not so great. Just kind of up and down. This is definitely more of what you want to see. You know, maybe there's a couple little blips here and there, but ideally just smooth sailing to the upside. You can also choose the period and choose half hour of day. You can see which of the half hours were more profitable. You can choose the day of the week. You can see which days of the week were the most profitable. Lots of different options. So there you have it, the definitive guide to creating your own strategy in Strategy Builder, backtesting it using Strategy Analyzer, backtesting it some more in Market Replay. And then if you're crazy enough to try it in any kind of account in the live markets, best of luck to you. I hope you got some good ideas for your own trading. If you have any interest in supporting the channel, if you use code MonkeyMan over at Apex Trader Funding or Take Profit Trader or Tradeify or DayTraders, you get the best price possible and you get my sincere gratitude. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Best of luck in your trading. Have a great day.